What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Bailey Thrush, and thanks for logging back onto my channel here. Tonight, I'm going to be talking to you guys about my 2020 NFL predictions. We're going to be talking about the records, where they lay in the regular season, postseason, and your new and maybe even back-to-back Super Bowl champs. So before we get into the video, I just want to thank you guys for logging onto my channel and subscribing and liking the videos, as I like to do a lot of varieties of videos, but I do mainly sports, just talk about me personally, and please feel free to give me feedback on any videos that you guys would like to see, and I will be glad to do those for you. So let's jump into it here. First, we're going to get into the AFC East. So we have, the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the New England Patriots, and the New York Jets. So this is going to be an interesting division this year, as I think that, New England is still going to have a really good team. You can't underestimate them this season. It's really just going to be one of those things where it comes down to, not having Brady anymore. You got to find where the backups are needed, and you got to fulfill those spots. So, you're going to see Rashad Berry playing at tight end. I think he's going to do pretty decent. And you're still going to have a lot of the guys that are still there. Julian Edelman, who's a phenomenal receiver. You got to give credit where credit's due. Brandon Copeland, and it's really looking at it. I mean, not having Brady there anymore really sucks. I mean, it does, but and that's why a lot of people like New England, was just Tom Brady was just a beast. Anytime he played, he was phenomenal. And you're gonna have Sony Michel still at running back. I think he's gonna be able to gain the yards and do what he needs to help the team, reasonably stay within a touchdown, maybe two, if they lose a game. And you're gonna see Cam Newton there now. That's pretty big. That video has been going viral, of some of his workouts, and just seeing that he got traded, that was going viral just in general. Cam Newton, I've had mixed feelings about it. I think he's going to do well. He's a fast quarterback. He is extremely entertaining to watch. I mean, just his highlights in general of any year. I mean, he makes some of the most amazing plays. So, I think they'll do pretty well. So let's move on to the Buffalo Bills. So that is going to also be a team that I think will have quite a bit more to bring to the table. They had a great postseason last year. They did well. They did what they needed to prove themselves. You're going to have John Brown. You're going to have Cole Beasley. That's going to be a great wide receiver duo there. You're also going to have Josh Allen at quarterback, who showed quite a bit as a rookie. And of course, you have Stephon Diggs now. So I mean, this is going to be good. You have Tremaine Edmonds on defense. It's Isaiah Brown at corner. It's going to be Jerry Hughes at outside linebacker. It's going to be another good team to really watch, as they battle with New England. I think it'll be a very heated battle there between those two. Micah Hyde, cornerback too. I've always been a fan of Micah Hyde, and I think he's going to do pretty well. I think just the team in general will do very well. I think they're going to have a lot more to prove, though. I don't think they're at an elite level of somebody like the Kansas City Chiefs right now, but they definitely have quite a bit to show. So next, we're going to move on to Miami. A lot of you Miami fans out there, you're probably mixed feelings about this season. Don't give your hopes up, though, because anything is possible, believe it or not. I think they're going to do pretty well. I don't think it's a complete shutout for them this season. I think they're gonna do what they need to do to stay alive. You're gonna have Ryan Fitzpatrick, who still didn't have too bad of a season. Uh, Matt Breida is gonna do pretty well at running back. Um, and you have Tua now, who got drafted, and I'm really excited about him. His background. He's gonna have a lot to bring to the table. And you just got to look at Jordan Howard as well. Then you look at their defense. You have Allen Hurns as well at wide receiver. So that'll be a good receiving core. You're gonna have Tay Haynes and Xavier Howard. They should do all right, on defense, maintaining the backfield. It's one of those things where you really want to see something big come out of Miami this year. You don't know if you're going to get as much as a team, say like the Pittsburgh defense. That's going to be really exciting to watch. I mean, it's losing Minkah Fitzpatrick when he got the trade and he went to Pittsburgh from Miami. I know that was really hard for Miami fans because, especially after watching Minkah this last season, the man was he was on fire. He had a great season. So the Dolphins are going to do what they need to do. So last but not least, we'll look at the New York Jets. So this is a team that I also think will definitely do pretty well. A team that really hasn't had much success over the years. Jamal Adams, who knows what's going on there? If he stays, that'll be great for the backfield, but from the sounds of it, he might be getting a trade. And you're going to hopefully see him in the backfield helping out, with a few of these other guys here. You're going to see Le'Veon Bell at running back. Bell, I'm a diehard Steelers fan. Bell left Pittsburgh, went to the Jets, and that was an eyesore for me. But at the same time, I'm glad for Bell because he's found somewhere where I think he might be comfortable. He got the pay that he wanted, and he might do well. We'll see. But let's just see where they go. They have. They also have Joe Flacco. We'll see where that goes. I'm not really sure he's too contempt on, winning a Super Bowl anytime soon. I think he's just where he's at to maybe get the pay and have a good retirement. So we'll see where that ends up. But so we'll rank these records and see kind of where they end up. I think New England fans, even though you lost Brady, I think you're still going to be seeing your New England Patriots win the division. I'm going to have them go at 12-4. I think they do well. Buffalo Bills are going to be shortly behind, though, I think at 11-5. And then probably the New York Jets are going to be in third, and you're going to see them at probably 10-6. And then I think you see Miami at 5-11. I think it's a pretty reasonable record for them. So let's shoot over to the NFC West, or NFC East, my bad. So you have the Dallas Cowboys, you got the New York Jets, New York Giants, my bad. You got the Philadelphia Eagles, and you got the Washington Redskins. So let's look at the Dallas Cowboys. I think Dallas is going to have a pretty good season from what everybody's saying. Dak Prescott's going to have a good season. He's ready to go. He's going to show up pretty big this year. You're going to have Amari Cooper, who has actually looked pretty decent. He's looked well. You're going to also have Andy Dalton now heading over there. So we'll see how he does. Be hard to say as far as them winning a Super Bowl. That's what I've been hearing, is that they're going to come up big. They're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't sorry guys, I just don't think this year. Um, I just don't think it's there for them this year to win it. Even though I think they will have a good season. And actually, my bad, Dak Prescott is no longer there. I think we are going to see, though, Andy Dalton might do well. He did pretty well with Cincinnati. Uh, I'm not really sure how well, though, he's going to do with new team, new offense. He's going to have a little bit of learning to do with the playbook. Ezekiel Elliott, I think he's going to do pretty well. He's going to do what he needs to do. He's going to be kind of like Bell. He's going to get on the field. He's going to get the short screen passes. He's going to get the runs, and he's going to make the plays that he needs to get the points and help his team win. I think when you look at Ezekiel Elliott, too, a guy that comes out of Ohio State who has a phenomenal program, especially for running backs. He's going to be pretty well fit with this team, and continuing to develop over the years as well. He's still has a little bit to prove, I think, for me, because he has his on and off moments. But I think this team will do pretty well for all the talent that they're given. And then, we're going to go over to the New York Giants. I love the Giants. Over the years, I've just been a fan of everything that they've done and all the people that they've had come there, the players. Saquon Barkley, first and foremost. I love Barkley. I'm a major Penn State fan. And with him having started at Penn State, he was a beast as a Nittany Lion, and he hasn't lost a step. I mean, the guy has been truly phenomenal and has been able to do more than just make the plays. I mean, he's made the play and then some. He's picked up the yards and then some. He's done exactly what he's needed to help this team. And then, at receivers, you're going to have Corey Coleman and Cody Core, Amba Edatuawa. It's going to be it's going to be a good team. And Wayne Gallman, been a pretty big fan of. I think they'll do all right. I don't think it's a do or die season for them because they still have a lot of growing to do. And especially as a team, I think they're going to do really well over the years with each other. And Malcolm Elmore, cornerback, he does pretty well. Rashad Gallman and Grant Haley, it's going to be a good team. You're going to see quite a bit from them. And Daniel Jones, I think at first, when he was drafted, seeing some of the reactions from the fans was pretty rough. It didn't really seem like he was a good fit for New York at first, but I think I compare him a little bit to Tom Brady in the sense that when maybe you're underestimated a little bit before the draft even hits, and then when it does, that's only motivation from that point out to really come onto that team and show up big, and he did just that last season. They didn't make the playoffs, but they did really well, and Daniel Jones, I thought for his first season, did very, very well. So I think they're going to have a good season. It's definitely not going to be a joking team anymore. So let's jump into the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a team that, of course, won the Super Bowl back in 2017 against the New England Patriots. It's really what it's going to come down to is, can they maintain that step? Can they keep the fire alive in Philadelphia? Can they go up against these teams, especially the Giants and the Cowboys? Can you go up against these teams and can you continue to play hard games against them? So, you're going to have Fletcher Cox still. You're going to have Corey Clemente. You're going to have, Brandon Brooks. It's going to be a good team still. Also going to have Deshaun Jackson, who I've been a fan of for years. He's going to be leading that receiving core again, making the amazing plays that he does. Alshon Jeffrey as well, leading in at number 2. I think he's going to have a lot to prove, and he's going to show up big where he needs to. They're going to. I mean, you got to get open. You got to find the passes. You got to score the touchdowns, and it's going to be left up to the defense after that to make the plays that they need to. Word on the street as well. Javon Hargrave. I mean, when he left Pittsburgh, that was the shame because I love Javon Hargrave. Now in Philadelphia, I think he's going to do really well, especially with Bruce Hector. Those two are going to create a lot of chaos for whoever the quarterback is. They're aggressive defensive tackles, and they're going to have a lot to prove and a lot to show for. I think as well, Miles Sanders, straight out of Penn State as well. He's going to do well. I think he's gonna come in, and still a young guy is gonna do really well for the team. I think he's gonna make the plays that they need him to make. Now we move on to Carson Wentz as well. Carson Wentz I've been a fan of since he got drafted. Having the injury though that he has a couple times has been rough, especially as a young guy. When you really don't want to have that happen to you, especially in a time that you can be winning multiple playoff championships and winning the Super Bowls. I know, like in 2017, when Carson Wentz went out and you had Nick Foles come in to bail them out in that Super Bowl and win 41-33. That was a big moment for them, and I know Carson Wentz is craving that kind of moment once more. So we'll see what happens. So now moving on to the Washington Redskins. This is kind of a team like Miami where I'm not really sure, what's going to happen. I think though, Kyle Allen at quarterback, he's going to do pretty well. I think he's gonna make the plays that he needs to. And having Ryan Anderson behind him, they'll do all right together. Looking on defense though, getting John Bostic and having Sean Davis, who's decent, from when he was in Pittsburgh. They'll still be able to do pretty well on defense. Don't get me wrong. But it's definitely not going to be a team that I think goes out there and proves everybody wrong and wins right away. I think they'll do well though. They're as well a pretty young team. Alex Smith too at quarterback. He'll do all right. It's a team that I think is basically a crash and burn at this point. To be completely honest, I mean, I think they'll do all right this season, but then after that, I think it's really just going to go downhill for them. And I hate to see that, especially with a young team like this, but I don't think you see much from them this season. Chase Young, however, is going to have a great season. He's kind of in a spot where most of these rookies are that go on to these bad teams, where you're a guy at such high caliber and you put in the time and the effort and you play at such an elite level. I'm rooting for Chase Young though, and I hope they have a great season. So we'll rank these guys. I think that Philadelphia is going to somehow win the division. I'm going to put them at 12-4. I think Dallas is going to be shortly behind at, I'm going to say 9-7. The New York Jets will be in third at, I'm going to say probably 8-8, and I think Washington finishes at probably 2-14. I know that's a pretty upsetting record, but then again, it happens to every team at some point. So we'll move on to the AFC West. So you have the Denver Broncos, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Los Angeles Chargers. We're gonna look at Denver first. I think this is a team that their receiving core is going to be really good this year. They're going to have a lot to show for. You have Jake Butt, and you're going to have Tyree Cleveland. Younger guys, not really elite receivers quite yet, but they're receivers that I think will have quite a bit to show for. Kendall Hilton, Jerry Jeudy, who's a great wide receiver if you ever watch him. And you're also going to have Deontay Spencer is going to be good to watch. Cortland Sutton. It'll be a good team. You're going to have Nick Vannett, too, who came from Pittsburgh at tight end. This will really be the team. This will really kind of answer a lot of questions for me as far as, will this be a team that for years is going to be a possible playoff contender? I'll be honest with you guys. I think this season could possibly be the season that they make the playoffs. We'll see where they end up, but looking at some of the defense, you have Von Miller still, who is a great veteran, still plays at an elite level. And you're going to have Kyle Pico, and, you're going to have Shaquille Taylor, DeMarcus Walker. It's going to be a good defense. Justin Simmons, who I think will have quite a bit to show for. Josh Watson. It'll be a good team this year. I think for all you Denver Bronco fans out there, I think you're not going to be upset this year. I think you guys will have something good to look forward to. AJ Boye as well. I think it will. I think it will indeed be a good team. So, moving on here, we have your reigning Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. This team is obviously going to make the playoffs. They're going to be a major threat to anybody in the AFC. And possibly, if they make the Super Bowl, they will be a threat to whoever they face in the Super Bowl, if it comes down to that. How about that 10-year deal by Patrick Mahomes coming up big there? 10 years that's a decade. It's a long time. He's definitely there making that statement. He's saying he's there to say, and not only that, but he is there to make a statement. He is there to help his team win multiple Super Bowls in foreseeable futures yet to come. There's a lot of talent from this team that you're going to see, and Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. It's those two alone are two of the biggest keys that make up that team. Of course, Patrick Mahomes, and such a young guy. He comes up big, and he is an absolute playmaker. I don't know, if you just ever sit there and just watch him. Throws those sidearm submarine passes. He's on the run. He makes the play. He launches it downfield to Tyreek Hill, who is just insanely fast. This team is going to do very well. Damian Williams is going to have a great season, of course. So it'll really be great to watch them play again. I'm not a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan, but I definitely enjoy watching them. So now, we'll look at the Las Vegas Raiders. Probably not too much to really say about this team. Nelson Aguilar should do pretty well. Nick Bowers, Derek Carr, who's a good quarterback as it is, but we'd really like to see him try and help his team. Keelan Doss, talk about a great player and who's truly dedicated to the team, but also just has so much finesse when he's on the field. I mean, a guy that has the ability to make a catch, to make the play, to do more than just average, and that's really how you establish your spot on a team is really showing up big for yourself, but also helping your team. Builds character. I think that's going to be a team that might not do bad at first. I think they have a little bit of improving to do, but John Gruden is a great coach, and I think he's going to help them get far. So now we'll look at the Los Angeles Chargers, a team that has lost two pretty big weapons. Lost Derek Watt, went to Pittsburgh. Derek Watt, too, is just a great fullback. You still want to see this type of team do well, that has done well in the past. I don't think it's the end of the season for them. You have Tyrod Taylor, a fast quarterback who has a lot to show, and I think they'll do pretty well. Also, you're gonna have Justin Jackson, running back, KJ Hill, a receiver, Justin Herbert, QB, Hunter Henry at tight end. I mean, it's a team still with a lot of weapons. You also have Joey Bosa, who's a great player. Keenan Allen. It'll be a team that does pretty well. Hard to say where they'll finish, but they've established a spot at this point that I think keeps them average throughout the league. Ranking this division, Kansas City Chiefs will obviously come out at first. I'm going to say 14-2, followed by the Denver Broncos, who I think are going to be 10-6, and then probably the Las Vegas Raiders. I think are going to come out at 8-8, and I think the Los Angeles Chargers are probably going to finish at a 4-12. So it's disappointing, I know, but it just is what it is. So now we'll move into the NFC West. Arguably one of my favorite divisions in football right now, just because of the amount of talent that is on each of these teams. You're going to have Kyler Murray, who, as soon as he was drafted, I was truly excited for, a guy that brought a lot to the table, and definitely, he was a little smaller for a quarterback, but he's a playmaker. He's like a smaller Cam Newton. Makes the play, runs, he gets the ball out, still makes the plays. The weapons for him, you're going to have Ryan Becker, Dan Arnold, Hakeem Butler. It'll be Darrell Daniels. It'll be a team that if he finds who he's looking for, they're going to make the play. Larry Fitzgerald, who's been around as a veteran for quite some time, still playing at a very high level for his age. Talking about a guy that's 36 years old. He's making the plays. Give him credit where it's due. Looking at the defense, you're going to see Reggie Floyd. You're going to see Leaky Fotu. You're going to see TJ Carter. Miles Brown. It's Robert Alford. It'll be a good team. I think they'll do pretty well. It's hard to say though if they'll make the playoffs, and you still have Chandler Jones, Patrick Peterson, who's a great corner. Corey Peters. This is kind of a half and half, old/young team. It's just tough for them to really look at a playoff spot when you have the Rams, who are still playing at a dominant level, the 49ers, and of course the Seattle Seahawks. That's I think what makes it one of my favorite divisions, because all teams in that division are really good and have a lot of talent. So it'll really be interesting to see how high each of their motivation levels are. So now we will switch over to the Rams, and we'll see, where they stack up. Cam Akers, I'm really excited for this guy too. Just having gotten drafted, he's going to have a lot to show for, and he's going to really help his team where they need him. And of course, with him being under, maybe possibly a little bit of anxiety, maybe just because the Rams are a team that has done well in the past 5 years. So he's, probably in his mind thinking really, what can I bring to this team to continue to help them strive? Am I going to do something that's going to bring them down? And, which he really shouldn't be worried about that, because he has enough guys on that team that are really going to be able to help him. And as far as receivers go, you're going to have Robert Woods, and you're going to have Ernest Edwards, two great receivers who I think will do very well. Greg Dortch is going to do well. You have Kendall Blanton, tight end, is going to do really well. You can't honestly look at this team and just be like, they're not going to do well. Jared Goff, who is still amazing, still makes the plays that he needs to. Cooper Kupp is great. And the defense, of course, you're going to have Micah Kiser, and you're going to have Juju Hughes and Travon Howard, Troy Hill. It's Aaron Donald. It's a team that's going to still have quite a bit. And, they're going to be aggressive regardless. So let's move into the San Francisco 49ers. A team that a lot of you 49ers fans, I'm sure, were thinking we're going to win the Super Bowl when it was 21-10. Yikes. That comeback probably stung a little bit, I'm sure. So, this is going to be a team that's still very good. Nick Bosa and Alex Barrett. Chris Edwards, Dre Greenlaw, Jonah Griffith, and Tim Harris. This is going to be a very aggressive team still. And then you look at the offensive side. You're going to have George Kittle, who tore it up last season, absolutely tore it up, and would have been my pick to be the MVP of the Super Bowl if they had won. And you're going to have, you're going to have quite a few weapons still that are going to be really hard to stop. Chris Finke, is going to do well. Josh Hoykett, Juwan Jennings. It's going to be a team that doesn't really have too much to prove anymore. I think they've proven where they are in the league and where they're going to stay. And of course, having as much talent as they do, I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. I think it's going to stay pretty strong, and even when they need to find the adjustments and the new guys to come in, I think they're going to be at an elite level as where these other guys have been. Jimmy Garoppolo, who played behind Tom Brady for a good amount of years, knew how Tom Brady played and picked up quite a few players' traits from himself. So he's going to have quite a bit to show for as well. And I think you could potentially see this team in the Super Bowl again. So we will now move down to the Seattle Seahawks. Okay. So I think this is a team too that could possibly get the playoffs again. It's just going to really come down to, Chris Carson running the ball quite a bit as he did last season. A young guy still, he's going to have to do what he can to help this team. You're going to have Penny Hart at receiver, who I think will do pretty well. Tyler Lockett, who has made some phenomenal catches over the years. He's going to be a great player to watch. Also just watching your boy Rashad Penny at running back, he's going to do pretty well. He's going to run the ball well. He's going to help his team. He's going to pick up the yards. Russell Wilson at QB, who a while back there had signed as the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. The man is only 31. Okay, he's no Big Ben. He's no Tom Brady. He's definitely not that old yet. He's still got those young legs. He can run. He can throw. And his leadership is what blows me away in general, to be able to keep his team in it. And on defense, you're going to have Bobby Wagner, who's also a beast on defense, who's going to keep his team focused, with quite a few of the men that they have, playing with them. Going to do pretty well. Bruce Irvin is going to do very well. Gavin Heslop is going to do very well. A lot of these guys coming in, Shaquille Griffin, who I've been a fan of for quite a while as well. I'm excited to see him. Trey Flowers. It's going to be exciting to see where these guys, where their levels are at, especially for their age. So ranking this division, I think San Francisco is going to pull away with winning the division again. You're going to probably see them at, say, 13-3. You'll see Seattle behind them shortly at 11-5. And you're going to see probably Los Angeles Rams in third at, give them like 9-7, and I think you'll see you'll more than likely see Arizona at probably 7-9. Then again, not a great season, but they'll hold their own. So let's move into the AFC South. So we have Houston, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and we're gonna have Houston, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and Tennessee. Four great teams. I think this will be another battle for first. A very close battle. Texans, who made a promise last year to go far, and they did. They didn't disappoint. It's really going to come down to the defense. I understand having TJ Watt or JJ Watt still. It's just not enough to have him on his own, trying to be there to make the plays and stop every guy in the field. I mean, you really got to have a lot of these guys step up. Jan Johnson and Anthony Kukua. There's going to be a lot of these guys that really got to come up big. It'll just be hard to say. Justin Reed, Bradley Robbie. you got to see something big from these guys this season. Especially having made the playoffs last year, you want to make it again this year. So you really got to do something. You got to do it quick. So I also think Jalen Watkins can hopefully help out in the backfield, do his thing, hold his own. Michael Thomas, hopefully. And then on offense, you have Jordan Thomas, you have Isaac Whitney. You're gonna have some guys that still are really good, and really have quite a bit to show. I think the big question this year is going to be, can this team come up big? Can they do what they need to do to win the division? Can they make the playoffs, and can they somehow, some way, prove these people wrong and win a Super Bowl? Who knows? So now we'll move on to the Indianapolis Colts. This is another team too, I think, for me, where I'm not 100% certain what they're going to do. Jacoby Brissett, he's good, but I don't think he's good enough yet to have the leadership quality to take his team to a playoff run. You just lost Eric Ebron, went to Pittsburgh. That was a big weapon at tight end. You have Jack Doyle. He's not going to do bad. He'll do good things for you. He'll get you the yards that you need. T.Y. Hilton, Malik Henry, two guys that I think will do pretty well. It really will just be a matter of, can this team do something? Phillip Rivers came there, so he'll definitely be the starter regardless. Be interesting to see how he adapts. And then, of course, looking back on that defense, you're going to have Xavier Rhodes and Luke Rhodes. Donald Rutledge. It'll be a good team to see, where they do. EJ Speed, Brandon Wellington, Jordan Wilkins at running back. So it'll be a good team to watch. I wouldn't give your hopes up completely. I think they'll do pretty well. So let's take a look at Jacksonville, a team that I think a lot of people gave hopes up on a while back. Let me just start off here. Keelan Cole, DJ Chark, Terry Goodwin. The receivers, Colin Johnson, it's going to be hit or miss. These are going to really be guys that, you look at and try to, you got to wonder, can they come up big? Can they do what they need to do? Can they stay focused on the field? Even if they're going up against a guy like a Richard Sherman, Xavier Woods, or Rhodes, can you stay focused when you're going up against those guys? Can you have the motivation to push your teammates, push the other receivers to say, hey, we got to stay in it. We got to be focused. Those are young guys on the field. You gotta keep them focused. D.D. Westbrook, though, I think is going to be the number one receiver there, and I think he'll be able to keep those guys in check, tell them what they need to do, and just kind of give them the motivation, like, hey, I'm here, let's work through this. We can do what we need to do. I think they'll do all right. They won't be bad, but they're not going to be great. Gardner Minshew, the guy's all right. I'm going to be honest with you. He's not great, but he's not bad. He should hopefully be enough to make the plays that they need to make. He's definitely not a complete bust. I mean, we found that out last season. Um, you really need to keep this team. Got to keep this team going. You got to keep this team on their feet. You can't give up now, or else you're not going to ever spike up again. And I'm telling you right now, okay, Leonard Fournette probably not your go-to guy anymore. Okay, he's 25. I understand that. That's still fairly young, but he really hasn't showed up anything big lately. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just hard to say what he's going to do. I really don't know. Luckily, you have Tavion Fester backing him up. It'll be good. He can maybe lend them a little bit of advice every now and again on what to do. Devin Osvaldo, backing him up as well. These are guys that I think will come up and take his spot eventually. I think they'll still, however, start Leonard Fournette. Leonard, I just hope for your sake that you can get something going. Also, you're going to see C.J. Henderson on the defense. And then you have Tyler Eifert now at tight end, a guy that was good with Cincinnati for quite a while. So this team got Joshua Dobbs as well from Pittsburgh. So, hey, Jacksonville, you guys might do it. So now, Tennessee Titans, a team that I was very eager to talk about here. Derrick Henry, first and foremost, is unstoppable. Him and Ryan Tannehill were on the same page this last season. A.J. Brown as well was on the same page with Ryan Tannehill. This team is really going to make an impact. You're definitely going to see them in the postseason again for probably quite a bit of years down the road. They're a team that is fairly young. Amani Hooker on defense, Adoree Jackson, Chris Jackson. It's a team that's going to have quite a bit to show still. And, they're going to have the guys on there that have been there for a little while to be able to, kind of like Leonard Fournette, be able to give them advice and say, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. This is how you can improve. And continue to play at an elite level as they have. So I think when we look at this division, Tennessee's going to win it. Probably see them at 13-3. I think we're going to see Jacksonville. No, we'll probably see Houston at second. I think you're going to see them at probably 11-5. You'll see Indianapolis, I think, at 9-7. And I think Jacksonville is just going to wind up at 3-13. So it's going to be a little bit of a rough season for them. But who knows? So the NFC South, we have the Atlanta Falcons, the New Orleans Saints, the Carolina Panthers, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So let's first start off with Atlanta. Atlanta, you have Matt Ryan still. You just got Todd Gurley, which is going to be great. You're going to have Chris Cooper on defense. Alan Bailey, defensive end. Delrick Abrams on defense. I mean, this is gonna be a good team still. At receiver, you're gonna have Juwan Green. I think it'll be really entertaining to watch him play. Jalen Haskins on defense. Josh Harris. Grady Jarrett. It's gonna be a great team to really watch and see how they progress over the years. Brandon Powell, Jared Pinkey, this will be a good team to watch for sure. And I think they'll do pretty well this season. So now we move on to Carolina. You lost Cam Newton. Oh well, it happens. The stars don't stay forever. But however, with that being the case, you're going to have a good amount of guys on offense still that will be able to help this team. Pharaoh Cooper, who's going to be good. Will Greer at quarterback, Marcus Haynes. Not really sure yet who they're going to have start. Christian Miller. You have some guys there that will be able to do what they need to do to find their flow and get going to help this team. Cam Sutton, tight end. PJ Walker would probably be the starter if I had to guess. And this will be a team that I don't think is going to be a complete bust either. I think they'll do all right. I think you're gonna have to really use Christian McCaffrey quite a bit on the field. Another power back that is truly phenomenal on the field. Runs great, makes the plays that he needs to. He's a great player, so use him. The man's only 24. You got to keep him going. So now, we'll move on to the New Orleans Saints. This is also a guy that, this is also a team that I think will definitely contest for the number one spot in the division. Anthony Chickillo on defense, Malcolm Brown, you're going to have JT Gray, Trey Hendrickson. This is going to be a good team. Very aggressive, not afraid to make the plays. Chris Johnson, Malcolm Jenkins. And then looking on offense, you have Alvin Kamara, you have Drew Brees still hanging in there, still playing really well for his age. And, you're going to have Michael Thomas, who's probably going to lead the league in receiving yards, as I would like to see some other guys maybe get up there and show something big this season, but I think Michael Thomas has kind of claimed his spot in that rank. And Alvin Kamara, of course, on the rushing portion, is going to do what he needs to do to help the team. So I think they'll do very well. And then, of course, in this division, my absolute favorite team to be talking about, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady. And now you have Rob Gronkowski coming back. That's going to be huge because those two played together in New England. So that's going to be really exciting to watch those two back together. And even you New England fans, I think you're pretty excited about this because you get to see a duo that was on your team but is now on another, but you get to still see them together and that bond that they share. Mike Evans helping out with Rob Gronkowski is going to be big. Chris Godwin, John Hurst. It's going to be Tyler Johnson. It's going to be a great team to watch this year. TJ Logan at running back. It's going to be a very, very good team. And of course, the rookies that they picked up are going to be sensational this year. So, there's really not much to say about this team either, other than the fact of watch out. This team's coming and they're going to be good. They're Tom Brady. I'm just telling you, he's old, but he's bloodthirsty for another Super Bowl, and he's not going to stop until he gets another. So, looking at that division, I think you're very well going to see Tampa Bay win it. I'm gonna say they come in at 13-3. New Orleans shortly behind at 12-4. Um, and then I think you're going to see Atlanta probably at 9-7, and then you're going to see Carolina at probably like 8-8. I think is pretty fair. Which I think I give them quite a bit of credit on that record, an 8-8 record. But I feel something good for them this year. So let's move into the AFC North. Okay, the Baltimore Ravens, a team that really made an impact last year. This is going to be a team that is fairly young for the most part as well. On defense, you have LJ Fort, you have Jeff Hector. It's going to be Anthony Levine. You're going to have Pernell McPhee, Michael Okanoa. It's gonna be an aggressive team. It always is, considering I'm a Steelers fan. It's not gonna be an easy team to play against, especially for any other team that's thinking they're gonna play well against this team. It's not gonna be a joyride. Lamar Jackson played phenomenal, but I just have the that feeling that something's going to happen to him. Michael Vick over the years gotten injured quite a bit from running, and Lamar Jackson just broke the rushing record for a QB rushing yards. He's not going to be able to do that for 10 more years, I can tell you right now. So any of you Ravens fans thinking that he's going to run all over any team and all he's going to have to do is run, I'm telling you right now, you don't want to rely on that. You don't want to believe that, because it's not true. It's just not going to happen. Willie Snead, you're going to have to use him for sure on the receiving core. You got to really get him the ball and let him get open, help you get down the field. Jalen Moore, Chris Moore, two guys that have quite a bit to show for the team. You gotta give them the ball. And I understand that Lamar Jackson likes to run, but sooner or later those defenses are gonna figure you out. Okay. Mark Andrews is another one. You got to give him the ball. He's big. He can get down the field, and he can easily shake off two defenders. So you got to use him. And so now, we're going to move on to the Cincinnati Bengals. Oh boy. Very excited for Joe Burrow. I hope we get to see quite a bit of playing time out of him. He was my favorite player in the draft this year, by far. However, do I think the team's going to go far? Not a chance. Sorry, Joe. Just not this season. He's going to have some good weapons, though. T. Higgins is going to do pretty well. DeMarcus Lodge is going to do all right. Joe Mixon is a decent running back. So, he's going to have the weapons and opportunities around him to really help him progress and help them as a team, bring a lot forward. It's going to be two, John Ross III, Mason Schrack, and Drew Sample. They're good players. Use them. They're young. You won't find out their true potential until you use them, right? So, and that's good. We'll see how they end up. On to the Cleveland Browns. This is a team I think you're going to see a lot of penalties on this year, particularly Myles Garrett, a player I am not a big fan of. After almost killing Mason Rudolph last year with the helmet shot, just an absolute. I don't even know what to say. I mean, he's he's a loose cannon. There's no discipline with that guy. But anyways, into how the team will actually do. I think if they do what they need to do, get Nick Chubb the ball, Odell Beckham Jr., Njoku, those are big weapons right there. 3 guys, Odell especially, who played with New York and is very familiar with being on the field and playing against, a guy like Josh Norman, who was a terrific defender, still is. You gotta give these guys credit where they still do what they can. Baker Mayfield, he's all right. He's not great, but I'd definitely take him over the big man Johnny Manziel. Manziel, who didn't last very long, of course. Baker Mayfield holds his own and does well. I think this will be a team that can do quite a bit. Rashad Higgins as well. Jarvis Landry is going to do well. Case Keenum backing up Baker Mayfield. It should be a pretty good team, and it'll be exciting to watch. Now, moving on to your team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I think, from the sounds of it, Big Ben is back to it. He's feeling great, and he's looking for number 7, the 7th Super Bowl ring. And I think they can do it. I hope and I pray that they can do it, man. I really do. So, you have Big Ben back. You have Juju Smith-Schuster, who was a little bit of a disappointment last year, but he's got some guys coming up to help him. You have Cooper coming up. You have Deontay Johnson, who was great last year, and you have Washington, who's going to be good. Eric Ebron coming from Indianapolis to play alongside, many offensive weapons. Also, playing with Vance McDonald. Those are 2 big guys, very aggressive. And it'll be good on the offense. It'll be good to see how they do. If you have Ben go down for whatever reason, I'm hoping not. You have Mason Rudolph and your boy Duck Hodges, who I think will do decent. They know the system now. They had a little bit of a rough year last year, but I think you'll see something big from them this year. The defense, truly sensational. Minkah Fitzpatrick does not disappoint. Devin Bush and TJ Watt are absolute animals. And Justin Lane coming up is really good. Steven Nelson is all right. You're going to have a lot of these guys that at the same time, a lot of other teams are still young. Vince Williams, a little older. Chris Wormley, getting him from Baltimore is huge. I think this team's going to go far this year. I really do. So, ranking the AFC North, I think we're going to see the Pittsburgh Steelers finally take control of the division and retain their spot as well as where they should have been. I think we're going to see them at 12-4. You see the Ravens behind them at 11-5, and then I think we'll see Cleveland at 8-8, and then unfortunately I think we're going to see Cincinnati at 1-15. I give them 1 win. I know that doesn't seem generous of me, but it's just kind of is what it is. You can't really give Joe Burrow too much to work with as a newcomer. So now, and last but not least, we will do the NFC North. So looking at the Chicago Bears, I think looking at the defense first, you have Artie Burns, you have Dion Bush. Um, it's it's a team that for me has always had a really good defense. Michael Joseph and Kendry Jones, or sorry, Jalen Johnson. Um, it'll be a team that has a little bit to work with. And we'll just kind of see where they end up, what they have to work with. Not really sure how they'll end up yet, but I think Mitchell Trubisky is going to do something good for his team. He'll find the targets that he needs to. Allen Robinson, they'll do all right this season. Now we'll look at Detroit. Now, Detroit is going to be a team that's been very back and forth. Hunter Bryant, Quintez Cephas, you're gonna have some guys that are young that need to make the adjustments. Marvin Hall, Kenny Golladay, Jason Huntley. It's Jesse James coming from Pittsburgh. They'll do all right. CJ Moore on defense. We'll see what they can bring to the table. Matthew Stafford's still around. Hopefully, he can find the targets that he needs to and get his running back the ball and just really rely on that defense to make the stops. After all, that's what it comes down to. So now we're going to take a look at Green Bay Packers. Team that in my mind still has a lot of potential. You have Aaron Rodgers still. Can he still make the plays, get to Davante Adams, and find the guys that he needs? Jordan Jones, Alan Lazard, James Looney. It's Jordan Love coming up now. Jordan Love, straight out of Utah State, he's going to have quite a bit to show, and he will learn quite a bit from Aaron Rodgers. This will really just be a team, too, that you want to watch out for, because they're still a team that can do what they need to stay in it. They'll do what they need to win. Jamal Williams, give him the ball, he'll run it, get you the points. And finally, we're going to look at Minnesota. Now, Minnesota, it's going to be hard to say what they need to do. Abdullah at running back should do all right. Michael Boone. In defense, you're going to have Brian Cole. You're going to have Miles Dorn. Benji Dawn. It's going to Mike Hughes. It'll be a team to see if they can do what they need to do. Eric Kendricks, who's still around, still doing well. Give the man credit, staying with his team because he's hopefully feeling something pretty good here soon. I think they'll do all right. Kyle Rudolph at tight end as well. He's gonna just do his thing, get open, get the ball, and do what he does best. Ranking that division, I think you're going to see Green Bay in first. I'm going to give them 10-6. Minnesota in second. Give them 9-7. Detroit in third at 7-9, and I think Chicago at 3-13. Give them 10-6. Minnesota in second. Give them 9-7. Detroit in third at 7-9, and I think Chicago at 3-13. Give them 9-7. Detroit in third at 7-9, and I think Chicago at 3-13. And so now that we have ranked all those teams, we will take a look at, who I think is going to be ranked in the postseason. And, we'll kind of take it from there. Honestly, though, I think you guys are going to see a really great season. In the NFC, I think we're going to see Tampa Bay, of course, is going to win the division. Saints will be right behind them. San Francisco is going to win the division. The Seahawks behind them. Eagles are going to win the division with Dallas behind them. And then Green Bay will win the division with the Vikings behind them. Steelers are going to win the division. The Ravens behind them. That one's going to be a close one, though. Chiefs are going to win the division with the Broncos behind them. Patriots are going to win with the Bills behind them. We're going to see the Titans take it and then have the Texans behind them. I think after that, we're going to see you're going to see the Saints and the Seahawks, Eagles, Cowboys, and Packers all get eliminated in the NFC, and that's going to lead Tampa Bay and San Francisco in the semifinals. In the AFC, we're going to see the Ravens, the Bills, the Patriots, Titans, and the Texans get eliminated, and you're going to see the Steelers and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. So with looking at that now, you have Tampa Bay and San Francisco in the NFC Championship and the Steelers and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. Two teams on both sides that really have a lot of talent still. As far as Tampa Bay and San Francisco go, I think Tampa Bay takes it. Like I said, Tom Brady is ready to get that ring. And Gronk's right there with them. So I think I'm going to predict them to beat the 49ers in the NFC Championship at probably 35-24. I think it's a fairly close game. So that will put Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. I think Steelers and Chiefs, I'm not trying to jinx it, but I think this is the year. Big Ben is going to lead his team to the Super Bowl over the Chiefs. I say that the Steelers are going to beat them in the AFC Championship 24-17. I think it's going to be a very close game, but sorry, Mahomes, you're not going back-to-back. Big Ben is here. He's ready to get that Super Bowl, that 7th Super Bowl before he retires. And then we're going to see Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl. I have wanted to see this for a long time. I never thought Tom Brady was going to leave New England, but always seeing him and Rob Gronkowski go at it with Pittsburgh as many times as they have in the AFC, multiple times in the AFC Championship. Now you're going to see them in the Super Bowl, the grandest stage of them all. And I somehow, some way, am just thinking that the Steelers are going to pull away with it. I'm going to say 32-17. I think the Steelers do it. They've been waiting for this moment for quite some time, and this is the year that I just see it happening. So once again, thank you guys for logging on and watching my videos. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please tell your friends to subscribe. Keep posted because like I said, I'm going to keep doing more videos like this. Sports, crazy foods, stuff about me. And please feel free to comment, liking the video, telling me what you guys' predictions might be for the Super Bowl, or even the season in general. And I'm open to recommendations for whatever you guys have as far as more videos you guys would like to see me do. So, alright, thanks, and thank you again for watching this video.